Knowledge is power.
In the words of the world's smartest superhero, knowledge is power. This is Kofi Johnson, the creator of Afroman and the protectors of the Book of Knowledge. Now, a lot of our fans have been asking us to do a video kind of explaining where Afroman has been and how he's got to where he is today and what's going on with Afroman right now. So we're here to do just that. Now, this here is actually our very first episode of Afroman that was ever produced. So we actually released this one back in '94. So this whole issue was done in black and white, simply because we didn't have the money to print color. So what we did, we actually ran it in black and white, raised enough money to print this same episode in color, which is this one. And on this one, we actually changed the cover. However, this issue is in full color. Now, Afroman has always been based in education. So what we used to do in the comic books is at the end of the comic book, we would put a glossary. So throughout the book, we would use the vast vocabulary, and at the end of the book, there's a glossary. And then there's another important section called Important People from the Past, where we highlight figures from Black and African history. Now, this is one of my proudest moments is actually when we did a comic book in conjunction with the American Cancer Society and South Carolina's African American Tobacco Control Network. So basically, this whole comic book here is geared towards non-tobacco use in the urban youth. So in this one, we had the villain Doc Tar, who was actually trying to get kids hooked on cigarettes. And it was Afroman and the protectors of the Book of Knowledge who had to come to his rescue. So that is that issue. And actually, this was the last issue that we printed of Afroman. Because from there, we started developing the animation. About our journey and all of these years doing Afroman, we've gotten plenty of press about the comic book and its educational content. Actually, these are some of the articles that were written pertaining to our comic book. And yes, that's me in the Afroman costume. What's Afroman doing today, you ask? Well, here it is. Afroman and the Protectors of the Book of Knowledge, the animated series. And this here is actually our very first episode. I really love this episode. And this episode, our heroes battle the evil Ultra Igno, a mad scientist who is bent on world domination. His plan is simple. Embed a hypnotic signal under the popular music of hip-hop and control the youth. And it's up to Afroman and the Protectors to stop him. I really like this episode. In this episode, we also introduced the hit song Neck Hurt, performed by one of the characters out of the series, MC Blastmaster.
Man, my chain so heavy, man, it make my neck hurt. And make my neck hurt. And make my neck hurt. Man, my chain so heavy, man, it make my neck hurt. And make my neck hurt. And make my neck hurt. Wake up in the morning, man, put my chain on. Head to the corner, got to get my hang on. Never been a gangster, man, you dead wrong.
Now that takes us to our second episode of Afroman and the Protectors. Another one of my favorites. Well, they're all my favorite. But on this one, I actually had the pleasure of working with Wayne Hardwired Riley out of the UK. He owns an animation company there. We met on Facebook, collaborated, and bam, here it is, the second episode of Afroman and the Protectors of the Book of Knowledge. Now, in this episode, we introduced a lot of new characters and even some new villains. So here, our heroes face the Exnarians, basically a parasitic race from outer space, and they're coming to Earth to steal our resources. And Afroman has to call on every melanated superhero in the world in order to stop him. So this one is definitely a must-have. And also, we introduced the new theme song, Face, Kissed by the Sun. Man, I speak in a tongue. That's the, well, enough of that. Here we go. We are on the third episode of Afroman and the Protectors of the Book of Knowledge. It has just been released December 15th. And in this one, we've actually teamed up with the actor and comedian Eddie Griffin. I don't know if you can see him there on the corner, but we're actually going to be doing some great things in the future. In this episode, our heroes face the evil Serapis. Now, Serapis is a demigod from another dimension. And his plan is basically to get his hands on the Book of Knowledge so he can rewrite history and place himself as the supreme ruler. And we know that Afro Man and the protectors of the Book of Knowledge must stop him. So again, another definite must-see. Check them all out. You're gonna love it. The children are gonna love it. Now, with every DVD release from this point on, there's gonna be a collectible series of t-shirts that go along with the episode. So remember to grab them, because once that next episode comes out, you will no longer be able to get that series of t-shirts that went with that episode before. Remember, they're collectibles. Buy one to wear, and then buy one to keep. And as you can see, I actually have one on now. And this is our Afro Man t-shirt with the Knowledge is Power cape attached. Now, they only come in children's sizes for now. I actually had to get this one specially made for myself. But this is what it is. On the front, you have Afro Man in his glorious pose. And then we have the Knowledge is Power cape attached. Now, with this, you can allow your children's imagination to run wild. I mean, this is it. The children are loving it. I'm loving it. Again, I'm wearing mine. Now, I haven't forgot about the adult collectors as well. We've actually released the collectible t-shirt, which features a couple of the new characters that we've introduced, as well as the entire cast. I don't know if you can see this, but I'll put it up a little bit. So remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn, the stronger you become. And remember to check out our website, www.afromankidspace.com. Peace.
Knowledge is power.